I've got a deodorant in my bag. What if it blows up?
The real drunk feeling might not be the alcohol.
Nothing in my breath. I'm thinking Christmas cruise.
Lee had to come into the other room and say, "Can you please just play any other song?"
Just me and Chris just had this look of each other of like, we're gonna get drunk, aren't we? We're gonna get drunk.
I wonder which side will age better.
0 points. We were the only ones that got 0 points from the public vote. Hang on a minute. Wait there. I just need to check that I've got. Wait. Let me just check my Wi-Fi's on. Yeah, it's fine. I turned my. Oh, are you still there? Oh yeah. Okay.
Let me just check my Wi-Fi's on.
Well, sometimes I have to turn it off because it connects to the Wi-Fi at work, and then everything slows down, so I have to turn it off sometimes.
I don't even think. I mean, I'm sure you have got Wi-Fi at work,
but I find it really slow, so I turn it off. Anyway, that's boring. Hello.
Anyway, we've got so much stuff to talk about this week because I feel like we just were derailed by ourselves last week. We went off on mega tangents. We didn't even cover like what had you been doing. You had been to
the gin place,
the gin
tour. Didn't talk about the gin tour.
Then, you've been.
Since then, I've been on a cruise.
On your booze cruise, which we didn't talk about last week.
You've been to a concert.
I was going to Casey Musgraves.
You've got a new tattoo.
All kinds of things have happened.
Shall we start it off by saying hello and welcome to the podcast?
Don't call it a podcast. But yes, we shall. I just feel like we should kick it off with, how was the cruise?
Oh, brilliant. Loved it. Like, obviously you think Eurovision it's going to be a booze cruise, and there were people on there getting smashed. But we had like an alcohol-free drinks package. I had one drink. It wasn't about that for us. It was about experiencing the cruise, and I am a cruise person. I have discovered that's my kind of holiday now. So
wouldn't it be fantastic to, I mean, like, best case scenario for me is like you can go on a boat to America.
Well, you can.
No, I mean it's so long. But that is like best case scenario. A cruise to and around America. Because then you get all of the benefits of the cruise with all of the benefits of the holidays that you know you love. What a dream.
I'm feeling already. I mean, you said to me the other day, we need to sort something out for Christmas. I'm thinking Christmas cruise.
Oh my God.
Christmas.
Oh my God. Does
Christmas
that exist?
Yeah, it's a Christmas market cruise.
Shut up! A Christmas market cruise. That sounds like there's a Christmas market on the cruise.
Oh no! Oh, that would be amazing. But no, it takes you to Christmas markets.
That is so cool. Like a weekend cruise. To be fair, I would be cool just going on a cruise for a weekend. Like, don't get off the boat.
No, I mean we got off the boat for literally a few hours, not very long at all. We had to be back because we had a show. We wanted to go and see We Will Rock You. And it was like, you can't book the tickets. It's first come, first serve. So we had to be back to ensure that we got a seat. Otherwise, we would have stayed out a bit longer. But I mean, to be honest, it was nice to get out, see a little bit of Le Havre, went to the church, went to a little cafe, looked around a bit. But I could have stayed on the boat. Ship. Keep calling it a boat.
Ship.
It's a ship. I could have stayed on there. There's so much to do. I was literally like, oh my God. Oh, there's like about 20 million bars. There's loads of, like, you can literally eat the whole time and drink the whole time if you want to. Like, even one of the compares, like, he was when we went to go and see the first show, he was like, so, right, is everyone on their eighth meal today? Because, like, literally, it's a buffet, or you can go and get a slice of pizza, or you can get a hot dog, or you can go and get an ice cream, or it's just like
an all-inclusive, but the restaurants are open constantly.
It's an all-inclusive on a ship, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I did think, after that one cruise that I did think that probably the kids would love it because it really does cater to picky eaters and to, like, there's no pressure to, like, you have to eat this meal, it's cost X amount of money, or you have to eat this meal because we're not going to have another meal. If you don't eat this meal, it's not the end of the world. There'll be more meals.
Yeah, honestly, Milo, they had kids' corner. So I mean, I had chicken tendies from the kids' corner. I loved it. There was beef burgers, there's pizza, there's mac and cheese. You can have a roast dinner, you can have a curry, like literally. But you know what it is when you go to an all inclusive, you literally have a little bit of everything on your plate, so you've got loads of
Mm,
things. But yeah, even for picky eaters, it's great because you
mm.
can just have whatever you want.
I mean, it sounds great. It sounds great. So what was it I don't follow the Eurovision, as you know. Was it the Eurovision last week?
Yes,
So
Eurovision
was it
last week.
while you were on the cruise?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, we were at, there's so many people dressed up. I felt
Mhm.
overdressed. Um, we were having our lunch at the buffet, and this older couple, they must have been in their 60s, older couple. He was head to toe Union Jack. He had a Union Jack short suit. So like a short
Wow.
jacket with shorts with a blazer, like Union Jack. He had like a bandana, Union Jack socks. I literally his wife had like a Union Jack shirt thing. She had boppers on. We watched it outside on the screen, and then we moved into like one of the music bars, and everyone was just really embracing it. And like when they were doing like the recap and like England come on, it was like woo! Even though we got 0 points from the public vote.
Oh,
Oh my
seriously?
god!
Actually
Seriously, I
0
think
points?
we had because how it works, it's all changed. I don't know when the last time you watched Eurovision was, but you know, like they used to do all the voting. So they still do that where it's like 10 points go to blah blah blah. They still do
Mhm.
that, but then they also have a public vote. So they public I don't know how it works. I don't know, but it's different. So you get like sometimes you can get hundreds of points. And that's how it flips and changes. So it got to UK and it was like 0 points. We were the only ones that got 0 points from the public vote. I was like, what?
Public vote. So not even people
No,
in England voted for us.
no, no. I was like, what the hell?
I
I don't know
honestly,
if
I
it's
mean, I feel like it's one of those things that is it like you were brought up with it? Like, is
what
it a bit like
Eurovision.
sport? You know, like
I
you
used to
kind of
watch
grow
Euro.
up.
It was a thing because I remember growing up, because I've got dual multinationality
Yes.
family. It always used to be we used to watch it and it'd be like dad's
Which is
side would
gonna
support
win?
Italy and then
Yeah.
we would support England as well, a bit like like football as well. It's the same, like, oh, Italy, England.
Mm,
So it was always a thing in our house. And so yeah, but it's only as I've got older that we've decided to have like parties or all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, being on the cruise this year was like different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can see that. It's a little bit like when England gets a little bit further than we all expect them to get in the World Cup, and everyone can get excited about that. I can
Yeah,
watch England live in a pub and get excited about the World Cup. I'm not interested in football, even a little
no,
bit, but I
same.
I could do a Eurovision cruise and
Yeah.
get excited about Eurovision.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure.
obviously because there were different nationalities on obviously on the cruise as well on the ship. So when their country was on, they were like, yay! So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was good fun, and it was our first taster of cruise life, and we enjoyed it. So we now know that September is going to be well. Chris is already on cruise TV looking for more cruises.
I can't wait to hear the next cruise that you've booked before you go on the next one.
But the thing is, it's so easy,
Mm,
so easy. You literally just go through the tiny little security bit, show your passport, put your bag. Like, no, or not even before that. We parked in the car park, and a van comes and takes your suitcase. That doesn't sound safe, does it? But it's a van just comes and takes your luggage.
delivers your suitcase to the ship.
Yeah, outside your door.
Mhm.
Like, what? So you haven't even got to carry that. You go through security, you put your handbag in the thing, go through, and that's it. They beep you, and then you're on, and then your holiday begins. And I was like,
Mm.
there's no waiting around, and it's just. I was like, oh, this is better than an airport. I have
So
to
you
say.
didn't fly to a cruise. This was a cruise from the UK.
Mm. I went from Southampton, and
Is
then
that
because
what
we
you're doing
were
in September?
yes,
Okay.
and because we're only like an hour and a bit from Southampton,
Mm.
we had breakfast. We were back home on Sunday at 10:30. I was back home having a cup of tea
Wow.
at 10:30, and I've still had the rest of the day. It was like, yeah,
That's amazing. So you guys could do
amazing.
like a weekend cruise. really easily
Mm.
just because of proximity. That is interesting.
Christmas
Yeah, well,
cruise. I'm just saying, Christmas cruise.
I'm not against it. I mean, I
Mm.
could drive to Southampton. It's practically, I mean,
We could
when
just
you
drive
look at us
here
on a
and then we could
map,
get a lift or something. We could
yeah,
just
I mean,
drive.
it's far.
It
um,
is far for you.
I feel like I could do it though. We could do it if we had enough planning
Time.
involved. Yeah,
Well, it's only May. We've got plenty of time.
we got time to arrange these dates. Yeah, I think that could be
Mm.
fun. Um, so yeah, that sounds great. Tell us about the oh, hang
The
on.
gym. What?
Before we get into this, I do want to, because I don't know how long we've already been talking, 10 minutes or so, and I haven't even told you what the actual theme of the episode's going to be,
Oh
which
yeah.
does fit within this. But the
Hmm.
theme of the episode, the topic we're going to get into after Emma's filled us in on all of her recent adventures, is going to be adults, fun, why we feel so guilty for having fun as adults, and why, when someone asks what you've done at the weekend, like, why, I suppose, not just having fun. Why do we feel so guilty having innocent fun? Like, we wouldn't feel guilty if we said to someone, "Oh, I've been doing this all weekend and we were drinking." That's totally normal. That's commonplace. That's acceptable. Like last weekend, I went into work on the Wednesday and it'd been the bank holiday. And they were like, "Oh, what did you do at the weekend? Did you get drunk?" And that was like the barometer of whether or not you'd had fun that weekend, was if you'd gotten drunk. If you'd
Oh, okay.
been drinking that weekend, or, who had a good time this weekend. So it feels like if you're going out and drinking, that's an okay way of having fun for an adult. But if you're doing anything else, like the term adult coloring book was coined a few years ago because it became like a really trendy thing for adults to do. Why wasn't it just called a coloring book? Why did it
Mm.
have to be an adult coloring book? Because we're saying that adults shouldn't use coloring books. They need special coloring books for adults because it's actually a childish thing to do. And why do we feel like we can't just do childish things? Childish in,
Why can't we embrace
yeah,
our inner child?
exactly. Not
It's like,
childish in like a negative way, but
no, but
like
I suppose you can also attribute this to people that go to Disney, you know?
Hmm. Right,
Why
but
do you go to Disney?
that's something that people are shamed for.
Yeah. Why?
At Disney adults, that's a perfect example. Totally
Yeah.
something people are shamed for. I mean, within reason. Um, but
Well, no,
I
I love a bit of Disney.
yeah,
I'm not hardcore Disney, but I like it.
yeah.
And I've watched the films. I was brought up on the films. They bring back lots of nostalgia for me, and I like to visit Disney, you
They
know?
do. They have a magical formula at Disney that allows everyone to be a child again. You relive your childhood. You relive your children's childhoods. They
Mhm.
just have some kind of magic that brings that
Yeah.
all together, and it allows everyone. It kind of gives everybody the freedom and the permission to just experience it and be joyful in the same way that you were when you were a child. And I think
Yeah.
that might be the real key to that. It's us feeling so much shame or guilt about having fun and like just being free and like we were when we were children. Disney
Mm.
gives you that. You get
Mhm.
to go somewhere and have no
Mhm.
guilt for being there because that's the whole purpose of the place.
Yeah. How do you feel about it then? Do you feel like, well, because you don't drink as much anymore, because you were talking about having fun and getting drunk and all that kind of stuff. It's like it
Yeah, I
sets the
don't,
bar, doesn't it? Like,
within
do you,
reason, I like to have a drink here and there, but I don't like to drink, like, I don't want really that to be the whole purpose of the get together anymore. I
no,
don't
same.
I don't enjoy how it makes me feel. I don't enjoy how I feel the next day. Everything about it. Like there's not really a benefit to it.
For me, I I I barely drink anymore, and so when I have a lot to drink, I am absolutely like gone. I am
Mm.
your classic binge drinker though. Like I won't drink
Mm.
for months and months and months and months, and then I'll drink to excess. Um, Case in point, going to the gin cocktail
Yeah.
making class. But that was fun. That was we had one when we walked in. We had several when we did the cocktail making, and then went to the
Hmm.
bar. Just me and Chris just had this look of each other of like, we're gonna get drunk, aren't
Like,
we? We're gonna get drunk. And that
out,
rarely
out.
happens. It's not like we do that at home. It's not like we
Yeah.
go, we're gonna get it's Saturday night, it's the
Mm,
weekend, we're gonna get drunk. It was literally we were just in the moment and we were like, do you know
mm.
what? Let's just have
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, let's have some fun, let's have a giggle.
Yeah.
Not that we wouldn't have fun, bearing in mind if we weren't drinking, but
No, but you were
we
just
were in
like,
the moment.
again,
We're in the moment.
you were giving each other permission to be
Yeah,
like, it's okay. Like,
yeah,
because there is, I mean, I suppose if you don't drink a lot or often, there is also that thing of, I shouldn't be doing this with drinking. And
yeah,
then looking at each other and being like, I'm going to do this. Are you going to do this?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of
She
co-signing
was
on, I can't get drunk by myself, but if we both get drunk, it'll be fine.
yeah, yeah.
Which then that also does explain why some people have a problem with someone not drinking because they don't want to get, nobody wants a sober friend around when you're
No,
drunk.
I don't have a problem with it now. Bearing in mind, we're older now.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a thing in our 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, why aren't you having a drink? Oh, come on, have a drink. What do you mean? Oh, it'll loosen you up. Oh,
Mm,
But that person didn't want to drink. Don't force it upon them.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't do that now. If somebody chooses not to drink, that's fine. They can have a mocktail now, or they can have a
Mm.
non-alcoholic. Well, actually, Case, I've got a drink here. I'm not drinking it today, but it's so random that we're
Ooh, it's the
talking.
0
Yeah,
one.
it's so random that we're
That
talking
this
about
totally
this.
seems like product placement, and I need to be very clear.
Well, it's
It's
not
not
honestly.
sponsored by Hardee's.
Just this. I'll just hold it like this. Um, it's so random that we're talking about this today because I was given this bottle by a friend at work who had it over the weekend and was talking to me about it yesterday, and I was saying, "Oh, I'd quite like to try that actually because
Mhm.
we're doing something at the weekend, and I don't want to drink because I don't want to feel crap the next day, but it'd be nice to feel like I'm joining in, I'm having a glass of wine
Yeah.
or whatever." And they brought me a bottle in today because they bought a
So
crate of it.
nice.
So I'm going to try it at the weekend, but yeah,
Do you know
not
what? Marks
problem.
and Spencer do a really nice one. I think it's called Nosecco.
Oh, okay.
And they do a pink one and a white one. And I had that a few years ago, and it was so nice. I've bought it several times since. It was really, really nice. They also do one that's like a sparkling tea now that someone gave me because they didn't like it. That's a very specific taste, but I quite liked it.
Oh.
Sparkling
But I'm
actual
wondering,
tea.
so the thing is though, I'm wondering whether the feeling of being merry is maybe a bit psychosomatic. So like if I was to
Mm.
drink this, would I feel a bit like, ooh, ooh.
Well, I think it depends on, I know for me, like if I had a drink by myself now, that feeling, drinking by yourself, just watching TV, you have a glass of wine,
Mhm.
watch TV. That is a completely different kind of drunk feeling than a social drinking drunk feeling. And I think really that feeling that you're like could it be psychosomatic? The the real drunk feeling might not be the alcohol. For an
Oh,
extrovert,
it's probably the
you're getting
company.
high, yeah, you're getting high
Yeah.
on the social interaction.
Yeah.
I for sure have been like that. I don't drink at work functions anymore because I used to not do crazy things, but I used to feel myself like I thought, God, people are going to think I'm absolutely wasted because I was just bouncing off the walls. And
Yeah.
I thought, I know this isn't, I know I haven't had that much
Alcohol.
to drink, but I'm bouncing off the
Yeah.
walls. So I stopped drinking at works functions
Mhm.
and I would make it a point to take someone home so everybody knew I was not
But you're
drinking.
mhm.
Um, because I was so self-conscious of like my almost erratic behavior when I'm in a social setting. I don't enjoy that feeling of like, oh God, everyone's going to think this.
Mm.
And that they've taken the alcohol out of that, definitely. And I still feel giddy. I still feel like in a social scenario when I'm not drinking,
Mm.
even without like a fake whatever, you still get that feeling if you're an extrovert
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're drawing
And
the
if you're
energy from
surrounded,
other
if you're, and
people.
also if you're surrounded by the right people as well, that give you that buzz, I suppose, if you
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
know.
exactly that.
Mm.
So leading on from that, tell us about your gin tasting when you got wasted with Chris.
um. So I
How did it
got
come about? Was it like A gift
I got
or
I bought it for Christmas. God, I hate saying bought it for Christmas because I always like. But
it
yeah, I
was
bought it
Chris's
as a
Christmas present.
it was Christmas present, and I bought it. I bought it for the specific weekend because it would be our anniversary. So technically, I bought myself a present as well. um,
Hmm,
anyway,
smart.
I knew that he wanted to do something like that, so I found it. It cost £40 for the tour, so you get a tour, and then the cocktail making. And yeah, it was great. We stayed until they kicked us out, basically. They were like closing. So, but I mean, you don't, the tour is about an hour and a half, I think. And then the cocktail making is probably another like hour. So, yeah, you spent about 2.5 hours there. It was really good though. So, you get in there, you're in a group, so you have to wait for your group. And then you are taken into a room with a wall of gin, which was
Hmm.
just amazing. And then you get to pour yourself a drink, taken through to a cinema. It's a bit like, I don't
Disney.
want to. No, no, no.
I thought you were going to be like, and then you get taken through to this. Then you sit in a cinema and you watch how the gin is made, or like Cadbury's Will.
No, it's like Harry Potter. Like
Oh, okay, yeah.
when it goes up. I don't
Hmm.
want to ruin. I didn't
No,
want to.
we don't want to ruin it. I get exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
And then it's like Mr. Gordon behind the.
yes. No, Bombay Sapphire.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Bombay Sapphire.
Mr. Bombay Sapphire was there. But yeah, so you have your cinema, watch your cinema, Harry Potter moment, and then you're through. You're through to the big glass. Well, you actually can see those before you do that. But there's big glass greenhouses, glass
Like a
houses. That's what they're called.
botanical garden.
Botanical garden, yeah, basically.
Hmm.
And in there, they just showcase the 10 different botanicals that are in Bombay Sapphire. And yeah, there's
Hmm.
a Mediterranean one, there's a tropical one. You get to go through there, then you go into another room and you get to taste some of them if you want to. Um, you are told all about the factory, how it came about and stuff. It used to be a paper mill, and
Where is this?
it's in Whitchurch, which is about an hour away from us, near Andover,
Hmm.
if anybody's interested. Um, so then, yeah, it used to be a paper mill. They used to make Indian money there, hence the name Bombay Sapphire.
Wow.
Yeah, I had no idea. So they used to, like,
In
yeah,
England.
yeah, yeah.
How weird. I wonder if that's like a safety measure. You know, like
I don't
make
know.
it in a
I
country
mean,
that they wouldn't spend it.
they probably did tell me, but I can't. I just picked up that nugget of information. I don't know why, but
It depends on when in the tour they told you.
yeah. um, and then they show us how it's how it's distilled. Um, what else? Oh, they distill 100,000 liters of gin a day, and most of it.
Just goes for England.
No, well, no, it's all over the world, so it's distilled there. It goes all
But I
over
feel like that
just,
would just
just
serve
yeah.
England.
Well, this is true. And then then we were taken through to another, like a working part of it, and it was all
Hmm.
very health and safety. Like you're not allowed your phone in there. You're not allowed. What else in there? Lighters or chargers, anything that could create an electrical charge. Right, we had to put it
Ooh.
in a locker, and you weren't allowed because we were going in there. And and I had my bag, and then I completely forgot, and we were just about to walk through, and I went, I've got a deodorant in my bag. What if it blows up? And then Chris was like, it's not electrical, you muppet. I was like,
You thought you were having an Ella Harry Potter moment.
yeah, yeah. I was like,
Oh my God, I've brought a
what?
knife.
So I said to the
I've
woman, I was like,
accidentally brought a gun. Like,
but that was
well,
really
that sounds like
interesting as
a lot of
well.
fun.
Mm. I didn't know what to expect, but it was really informative. And then the cocktail making was just a load of fun. And we were on the back wall, and they called us the naughty wall because it just seemed like all the people in the back row just wanting to just have more gin. And then the other people were taking it very seriously. And we were just like, but yeah, it was good. It was good. enjoyed it.
Before you got to the cocktail making, were there samples available? Because I feel like if you'd got to that point and you'd already been
No,
drinking, you'd have been like,
no, we had one.
how
We
am I
had
going to
one.
learn?
No, we had one. That was
I
it.
feel like
Before we.
one would be enough. One,
Mm,
and like when like a gateway drug. Like you don't do this because if I do this, then I might do this.
mm.
Like people who are addicted to drugs don't drink alcohol because it would lower your inhibitions and you might do the drugs. Or like I feel like it's someone on Grey's Anatomy and she said I can't drink alcohol because then I'll forget not to do drugs. That is what I feel like. I would just one drink and I'd be like, ooh.
One drink is all it takes.
That's what it feels like. That honestly, I can't handle it anymore at all. But yeah,
Well,
that sounds like a lot of fun. I think Lee would like that.
it was really good. And then, of course, obviously, I had the option to have some drinks at the weekend, but I had one, and literally I was like, no, I'm not bothered. I'm really
Mm.
not. And actually, because I had a gin, it was so strong. I was like, bloody hell. So, yeah, didn't really drink this weekend because I just
Mm-mm.
didn't fancy it. That's what
No,
I
and
mean. I'm a
that's
classic.
okay.
It's
I know,
okay.
but I don't think that I would call you a binge drinker. I think a binge drinker would be like more volume than you're talking about.
Well, I had 23 shots of alcohol of some sort. That's quite an excess. That's quite excessive. Like, so
23.
23. We counted them. We were like, right, we had one in there, then we had there and there, and then in there. And we were like, Jesus Christ. Because
23 might
when
be.
we were at the bar at the end of it, we weren't just having like one drink, we were having doubles. So if we had like, I don't even know how many drinks we had
I
in
feel like
like.
I would die if someone offers to buy me a drink and I ask for a gin and tonic and they get me a double. I'm like, that's not what I asked for. I didn't ask for a double. That's a different drink.
Mm,
It is a
mm.
different drink. I wouldn't choose to have a double. It changes the drink. I think all
Well,
people always buy people doubles thinking like it's generous.
but generous and value for money, right?
Yeah, totally, totally. Like if someone said I want like a vodka and coke or something, which to me sounds absolutely horrific, but whatever. Vodka and coke, and someone was like, "Oh, I'll get them a double vodka and coke." That is a lot of vodka. That
Mm.
has considerably changed what that drink tastes like. But they've taken it upon themselves to give that person who said yes, they would like a free drink, please, twice as much alcohol as they'd signed up for. It's so bizarre, isn't it? But
Yeah.
the thing of like, do you want to make it a double for 50p more or whatever it is so normal. That's not what I
Mm,
wanted. It's like making beer twice as strong. I didn't
mm.
want twice as strong beer. If anything, give me half as strong beer.
But at this point, me and Chris had done the look, as in like, yeah,
We were like
we we are
23
having
shots of
doubles.
alcohol.
We're having
Honestly,
doubles.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it.
Well, I
If
managed it, and I was a bit sore headed. We were the first ones down at breakfast. We were like, oh, okay, I feel all right. I feel okay. But Chris did feel a bit rough later on, like really rough.
mm,
Um, but we're okay. We lived to tell the tale, so all is good.
he survived. I don't think I would have survived, honestly. Once upon a time, maybe. Not anymore.
Mm.
I don't have the tolerance anymore.
How was your concert and your tattoo? It's time for you to tell me.
To tell you, the concert was great, although we did do something, it's not that bad, but like something I wouldn't usually do. So the last train home, she did. So doors were at 7. In my mind, concert started at 7. So when I booked the last train home at 10:15, I was like, yeah, that'll probably be fine. It's 5 minutes away from the venue. And then I was thinking about it and I thought, well, if doors are at 7, then the person, like the whatever you call them, the person who comes on
Support
first,
act.
support act probably won't come on till
Who was
8.
it? Who
I
was
don't
it?
know. I can't remember what her name was. She was good. Ella could tell me. She was good. And while she was singing her stuff, I thought I'm going to download some of this stuff, and then instantly forgot. Um, but I liked her. She was another like female country singer. And then I was like, so if she doesn't start till 8, then Casey Musgrave's not going to start till at least 9. And then our train's
Mm,
at 10:15. I'm like, this is
mm.
not going to work. So there was another train an hour later, but it didn't go all the way to Doncaster, it went to Sheffield. So we decided before, like hours before, when we just got to Manchester, like middle of the day, and we were like, right, let's get an Uber back from Sheffield and just stay till the end. Because, you know, at this point, you were already however much money in with the concert and with the being there and the whatever. And it was only £37. I don't know how many miles it is, but I assume they've got to do a round trip because we don't have Uber in Doncaster. So I feel
Yeah,
like
that's good then.
it was really good. It was so we got off the train. Plus, we would already have been paying at least £10 to get a train back from Doncaster station. So £10 of that 37 we didn't have to pay
Or
already.
20.
Well, yeah, you never know. 20, £37 to
'Cause you
go
would
from Sheffield station directly to our door. I don't think that was
yeah.
that bad.
No, that's
Not
really
too bad.
good.
Yeah.
Considering if I was to get taxi to the next village, which is 5 miles away, that would probably cost me a tenner.
Mm. Well, so we were talking about this the other day. Our my train station to me is probably more than 5 miles away, I would guess. But I think Sheffield's like 20 miles away.
Yeah.
It's like 20 minutes, half an hour, especially into the centre.
Well, it's also going to
Um,
Meadowhall, right? When we
yeah,
go
but
to
it's further
Meadowhall.
than Meadowhall into the actual
Oh,
centre.
interesting.
Yeah. So either way, I thought it was a good deal, but it felt extra bougie to have like an Uber waiting for you when you got off the train that took you like, we were in the taxi for like half an hour or something. And I was like, this is crazy.
I kind of wish that I kind of wish that I can do that for Taylor Swift, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think there'd be too many people booking Ubers after Taylor Swift. I don't know.
I think you
Well,
can do it in
maybe.
far enough in advance.
Hmm.
I think there'll be a
Food for
lot
thought.
of people who haven't considered it, and a lot of people that just won't do it for the same reason you've just said.
Yeah. Unless I That's a whole different thing. It's not for the podcast really, but I'm trying to sort of navigate how I'm going to get to a certain place at a certain time for a certain thing on Taylor Swift night. But I think I might get an Uber now.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think I
where are
might
you
get
actually
an
seeing her?
Wembley? Yeah, Wembley.
Oof.
Yeah. Is it
Wembley. So where are
Wembley or
you going to stay out? Are you going home
Wembley?
after Wembley?
No. Oh, it's very complicated. I'll tell you anyway. It's fine. People can know. People can probably help me out. So Chris is working in London that night.
Right. Oh, so you're going to
Um,
go somewhere and he's going to pick you up from
so
there.
I'm gonna go and meet him somewhere for him to
Uh-huh.
pick me up and bring me home. But he's like, I'm not driving all the way to Wembley because it's going to be
Mm.
madness, right? So I
Yeah.
need to go somewhere. So I'm like, right, do I get the tube with like the masses?
Mm. Yeah, but will you be
Or,
getting the tube with the masses though?
well, yeah, probably.
Not necessarily. I would have thought a lot of people will stay over.
You've still got to get a tube to their hotel, right?
Maybe. Well, there's loads of hotels near Wembley.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know, but now I've thought about it, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I don't need to get the tube.
Maybe get
Maybe I
an
can.
Uber to somewhere he can collect you from.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
know what? I would get an Uber, like from that McDonald's. Like get an Uber from somewhere, walk a little away
yeah,
from
yeah,
Wembley and get an Uber from like the McDonald's near the tube station.
yeah,
Somewhere like that so that it's not going to be an absolute mad dash. Or like
yeah.
there's an Asda around the corner, that kind of thing. That's what I would do. Are you excited about
Mm.
going to see Taylor Swift? Obviously.
I am. I am. I don't know what I'm going to wear. I really don't know what I'm going to
Mm.
wear. And do I need, like, people help me if you're going to see Taylor? Do I need to make bracelets? I don't know.
Yes, definitely.
I haven't got time.
You
I've got
have.
time to make
Buy
bracelets.
some bracelets. Buy some bracelets.
Um,
I think it's really cute. The thing that I've seen online of people swapping bracelets is super cute. You want to be in on that. You want to like,
am I too old for that? Am
no,
I too old?
no,
Oh, I don't know.
you're not.
I'm thinking I might make a t-shirt and it'd be like, I'm in my 40s era.
Love
That's
it.
what I'm gonna do.
Well, she's in
Um,
her 30s.
yeah,
She's
she
not a
is.
teenager.
Yeah, but I don't like. I want to dress as an era because that's what people do, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what era to do.
I
Kim
like
keeps saying,
red. Red is my favorite.
Is it? So, like, the white
Yeah. And
T-shirt, black
autumn vibes. I
what?
love it. That whole album is like
What, folklore?
red.
Red? Autumn vibes? Red is like
Yeah,
the
100% autumn vibes.
you think?
Do you know what? I bet it came out in September. This is my thing, right? So recent Taylor Swift is not my thing. I fell off. You know when she did that one with all the people, the black and white Reputation. I haven't really listened to anything since that era.
Oh, okay.
I
See, I
think
like her. I like her more recent stuff.
and a
Like
lot of people do, and that's why I don't. 1989, I think, was the last album I listened to was
yeah.
1989. Um, I was like all in. I was so excited, like counting down for the albums. And then overnight she became like, oh my God, everybody. And then as soon as everyone's interested in something, I lose interest completely.
Mm, uh, I just her lyrics are incredible, and I do like her more recent stuff, the more in-depth stuff as well. I know people speculate that it's about so and so, it's about this, it's about that, but actually, if you just strip it down, listen to how she's created the song,
Mm.
like she's so creative and so talented.
I mean,
Um,
she's super talented. She's
I
just,
am,
again, it's just like once people tell me it's the must see TV thing. It's the everyone has
yeah,
to, and then
everyone
I go,
has to.
you can't make me.
Yeah. But then, I felt a little bit like that for Harry Styles. I
I
was like, oh, do I really? But then I thought, "Do you know what? Actually, yeah, I'm going to go." And I loved
Yeah,
it.
but that's totally different. Seeing someone in concert, like I've seen Coldplay in concert twice. I've never downloaded a Coldplay album. Coldplay live are incredible.
I'd love to see Coldplay, but Chris hates them.
Well, Lee would say the same, but he came to one of the things with me.
Yeah.
They just put on a serious show.
Mm.
It is absolutely incredible. They've got such an atmosphere. Also, the album came out in October 2012. So that's why I think it's an autumn album.
Oh,
Because I was
okay.
like walking to work. Oh
Well,
my God, this is so funny. I've just put Taylor Swift Red Album and I just wanted to know the date. And then the first question that comes up is Red by Taylor Swift a fall album?
oh,
This then says, in particular, Red's inclusion of All Too Well and the release of the corresponding short film added to the excitement, nostalgia, perhaps most importantly, fall vibes. So yeah, it totally is the perfect fall album. This is what this says.
oh, okay.
It is
So that's what
totally
we
an
think.
autumn album. I just think that's your like. Plus, Red Taylor's version, she's wearing like a little cap and like a trench coat type thing.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, I have to think about this because it might be warm. I'm
No,
going
but
to
you don't
see
have
her
to
in.
wear like cold weather stuff. Just that's the vibe. Like your colors are like
Yeah.
autumn. But
I
you
don't
could
know.
do
I
white
need.
t-shirt, red lip. Just love
Yeah.
that album. I think that's my favorite of all of her albums that I listened
Yeah.
to, the early stuff.
But then I quite like the idea of folklore and being like wearing like some kind of like um gingham dress, like maybe
Hmm.
braid my hair or something. I don't know. I don't know. I quite like that era too. I
I
don't
know, but I
know.
feel like at what point is that then just what you would wear? You know, like at
Well,
what point is it
yeah,
just what
like
you would wear
do you
versus
want to make
dressing
it
up?
do you want to
Do
make
you
it
want to look like you
special?
just randomly turned up and this is what you wore? Or you're
Well,
actually dressed as that thing? Do you know what I mean? Like if I feel like
yeah,
if a 16-year-old wore that, you'd be like, oh, she's dressed as folklore. If people
yeah.
our age wear that, they're like, oh, she just wears that to work.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but then the thing is, I'm also mindful. Again, I get this rolls back round to like, are we shamed for it? When we
Yeah,
say
totally.
like, am I silly dressing up as a 40-year-old
No.
woman, 40 plus year old
Oh
woman?
my God. These tickets are so difficult to get. Again, I have really no interest in the current hysteria of Taylor Swift. When it all dies down, I'll go back and listen to the albums that everyone told me to listen to when no one's telling me to
Yeah.
listen to them anymore. I haven't listened to the new one yet at all. I've just heard clips on Instagram. Haven't even listened to it. We were gonna listen to it and do a thing about it, and then when we didn't, I was
Yeah.
like, oh well, I just won't then. um, just won't. I just not on
I
purpose. I
mean,
just haven't.
I listened to it, and then I listened to it again, and then of course I was messaging Kim because obviously I'm going to the concert with Kim, and like we were saying, oh, I like this song, I like this song,
Yeah.
and then a week later, I said to her, I said, I've stopped listening to it because I'm not being funny. I can't listen to it again and again and again. It's a bit much, and a lot of it is quite sad. So I'm like, I just can't
But if I
listen
was
to
going
it
to the
again.
concert, I totally would. Like I listened to the new Casey Musgrave album over and over. I'm a repeater. I'll listen to something again and again and again and again and again until someone has to tell me to stop. Usually, like when Shake It Off came out, Taylor Swift Shake It Off. Lee had to come into the other room and say, "Can you please just play any other song?" Because must have just had it on repeat for like 3 days. I loved it. He was
Can
just like
imagine Lee being
literally
downstairs
any other
and him
song.
just hearing nothing in my brain. And he's like,
It's like, I'm gonna die. Yeah. So there was a time, that I really, really loved it. But if I was going to the concert, then I would listen to it and listen to it. But maybe that is the issue, like you say, that it's not like happy music.
but the thing is, how much like there's so many songs. This concert's three
Yeah.
hours long. 3 hours long. Her set
And you
is
don't
three.
know what the set list is going to be. I know
There
they'll
is
like leak set lists and stuff,
there
but you
is
don't
a no,
actually know.
there is like an
But on
order
the
of
day,
it, so
she
you
can play
know.
whatever she wants.
Well, this is true, but I think I've been watching a lot of like people telling you go to the toilet during this bit, and like like tips
Mm,
and tricks and stuff, and make sure you take this and make sure you take plenty of battery chargers for your phone and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, right, yeah, I'm like, I mean, I'm going to be wearing my trainers. I'm not wearing anything else but trainers because
yeah.
comfort is key.
Nothing else but
um
trainers. That's a look.
what era is that? This is my birth era.
That is a look. That is a look. Well, Ella had the set list for Casey Musgraves. I know it's different, but she had the set list and she played a few songs that weren't on that list. And swapped a few out. There
Yeah,
were some that you weren't
I'm
expecting.
kind of hoping. I said to Kim, I'm kind of hoping because sometimes she has special guests. I'm hoping that Florence, like Florence and the Machine,
Mm,
she did that Florida song with her. I'm hoping that she'll be a special guest.
I don't know what the song.
Florida.
I don't think I've heard that.
Okay. Anyway, she's done a song with Florence on Florence and the Machine.
I feel like
Um,
Wembley would be a
or
special
Post
guest
Malone. Post Malone.
place. Which one was that?
Fortnight. And for a fortnight there we were. It's the one that's been played the most. No, okay, never mind.
I've
I've
heard
lost you.
just
Haven't I?
I cry a lot, but I am so productive.
That's a different one. That's a
Okay,
different
that's the
one.
one I know.
Okay.
Only that bit of it. It's like that. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem.
And the
It's me.
problem is
That's
me.
the only bit of that song that I know because I've never heard the actual song. I've just heard the bit on the Instagram reels. When you like, I randomly I lost the wire out of my car. I like took it out and I'd taken it in the house and God knows where it's gone. So I've been like playing it in a weird way from my phone. And I just let it play like today's hits. And I'll be
Mm.
just driving along. And then the chorus, I'm like, oh, it's an Instagram song. Like I don't know what the song is. And then I'm like, oh, I know what it is. Oh, I've done a reel to this. No idea what the actual song was until randomly.
That's like me today. I put on today's hits today at work at lunchtime actually, and you know that espresso song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know the entire song other than that
Swear to
bit.
God, that song is like a major earworm. I was like just singing along to it mindlessly. I could again, it's just over and over and over again in a loop in my head. And
Hmm.
so I would listen to that song again and again and again, and it would drive me
Mm.
insane. Fun fact, when me and Charles went to New York, Sabrina Carpenter was, in the taxi, in a yellow taxi. She wasn't in the
Mm.
taxi. In the in the yellow taxi, it wasn't really her. When they have like things playing on the little TVs in the taxi. So, and you'll see the same thing again and again and
Yeah.
again and again. So there was a song of hers that was on in the yellow taxi, and I downloaded it on that trip. That might have been 2012. It was, no, it can't have been 2018. It was so long ago. Let me play you a little bit of the song because I still listen to that song. And then when she's become really famous recently, I'm like, oh, I know her. Am I gonna remember what it's called?
I didn't really know about her until she was dating that guy from Saltburn.
Yeah.
You like New York City in the daytime. I like New York City in the nighttime. You say
Love this.
Never heard of it.
I don't
It was
need it.
it's so funny because I remember while it was playing again and again in the taxi, and I was getting ready in the morning in the bathroom, and Shaw from the other room was like, "I knew you were going to download that song." Because
Oh,
we were obviously listening to it. What
hang
popped
on a
up?
sec. Hang on. Uh, End. Send a voicemail. Sorry, I had a call. I don't know who was ringing me.
How dare they?
I
Yeah,
know.
well,
Did not.
I was getting ready in the bathroom playing that song, and Shaw was like, "I knew you'd download that song." So I must have like been bopping along to it in the taxi. It's like this is a me kind of song. So yeah, Sabrina Carpenter. That was my. It's like, oh, I knew
Mm.
her, and then all of a
Anyway,
sudden,
I
but
want
that
to
I
know
think
about you.
that is also a random thing of when people talk about overnight success, like, oh, she's come from nowhere, but she had a song in a taxi in 2018,
In 18, yeah.
and she seems to have
Um,
come from nowhere. What do you want to know
what?
about?
Your tattoo.
Oh, my tattoo. So Ella booked to have a tattoo with the same person that had done the fine line tattoo that me and Kaz had last year. And she
So
said, "Will I
her
take
first
her
tattoo first? Is this the
first
first?
tattoo?"
Mm.
hmm and she's terrified of needles, so I don't even know what she was thinking, to be honest. Um, but she was going to have two in one sitting. I
I
was like,
mean, okay.
"Hold your horses. Maybe have one first." Um, anyway, I said, "Well, if I'm taking you, I'm going to see if I can get in as well." So she said it wasn't a problem because they were only small ones. And Ella was fine actually. It's a fine line tattoo is completely different. I don't know if we've had a conversation about this already, but the one that I had, the stars, it just didn't. I couldn't believe it didn't hurt. Like a
I
regular
really want.
tattoo,
I really want a fine line tattoo. They look great. They
you
look
should
so.
totally. Do you know what? She's got an open day. It's not called an open day. It's like,
You just go and get a tattoo.
well, no, it kind of is. It's not called an open day. They have like this day where you book in at a certain time and you pick from loads of different sheets. So you can't just randomly pick whatever you want, but there's absolutely loads of designs,
Mm.
just little ones. And you can have it done. It's dead quick, and
Mm.
she fits loads of people in one day. It's like called
Okay.
like a sample whatever day or whatever they call it.
Okay.
And this is like her 10-year anniversary. It's in August. So
Oh,
maybe I will find out when that is and see if you're free that weekend, because that would be a good time to go.
you watch it. Be the weekend that we want to do Back to the Future.
Well, it
Oh no,
can't be that weekend. No, that's the end of August. It's the beginning of August.
oh, it's at the beginning. Okay. Oh,
We'll
okay.
see. We'll see. But anyway, this is the one. I mean, I had this done on Saturday. It's like it's an arrow,
That's cute.
but there's just like
There's no. It's like you've.
it's
There's
like she's drawn it
no
on with some
scab.
pen.
Is there no
No,
scab?
no. She gave me like this sticker thing that goes on it, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, that's never going to stay on because of where it was. It like just creased off like within the day, and I took it off. And I remember with the stars, which are, I mean, this is how a normal tattoo looks on me, super blurry. I'm seriously considering having them removed and redone.
Hmm.
And then this is the one that she did on me last year that's
Look at
still
that.
really fine.
Yeah.
At Christmas, my dad was like, "What is that on your arm?" Like, because it doesn't look like a tattoo. It
Oh,
looks so
someone's ringing
bizarre.
me again.
For God's sake, if that's Chris, we're gonna have
No,
problems,
it's
Chris.
my mother. I'm gonna send it a
From
voicemail.
downstairs.
Sorry, mum.
Send you to voicemail. She's gonna be knocking on the door. But that, like, with that one, I remember waiting for it to scab, and it just never did. And so with this one, I'm like, it feels it's just my skin. There's no.
Did you put you know like when you have a tattoo and you put the panthen on, don't you, or whatever?
I didn't do anything.
You didn't do
I haven't
anything.
touched it. I just like live my
Wow.
life. It's crazy. So when Ella was having hers, I was like, because when I did this one, I did say, do you know what? My memory of it is it doesn't hurt at all. It does, but it's not like, not even a little bit like a normal tattoo.
I
Like
really
it's a
want to get some.
scratch.
I want to get some wildflowers.
Mm.
Oh my goodness, she really wants to talk to. Why is she ringing Chris?
You should have gone on Do Not Disturb.
Oh yeah, this is true. This is
What
true.
if she's
Maybe
locked out?
she's out tonight, so I'm thinking, why isn't she ringing Chris? Might have to call her back.
I was going to say, if she rings back one more time.
Yeah, I think it's time to. And then we're gonna
Then
have
she
loads of
might
comments,
actually
and
need
then-
you.
And then we're gonna have loads of comments going, "Is your mum okay?"
Well, I kind of want to know at this point.
I don't know what
We'll see. But yeah, we'll see whether or not it works out that date, because she's really, really good. She is great, and it was no problem for Ella as well. She was really great with Ella. Like
to calm her
Ella's a
down, like with her
fainter.
nerves and
Yeah.
stuff.
Ella's
that's good.
she is prone to fainting, and she was like, "Do you need a drink? Have a drink first. Lie down. We'll do this. I'm doing this," and it was fine, no problem at all. But she did just have the one. I was like, I sowed the seed early.
What did she have then?
She had same placement, but on the other arm, she had Sonder, which is apparently the name of a band, but also the word itself means something along the lines of the realization that other people are just like living their own lives and having their own experiences.
Oh, I like that.
I like that as well. I Googled it before she did it, and it was in a book written by a man that was trying to define like new emotions and express feelings and think of new words for things. And that's what that meant. I quite like that. I said,
Yeah, I do like
after
that
she did it
meaning.
done, I was like, I'm going to make up a word.
I mean, that's
And I'm
really
just
good
gonna be
for a
like-
first tattoo, because my first tattoo was just a sun on my back because everybody had one.
We were talking about
At least she's got
tattoos.
actual meaning behind it. I was just like, oh, I'll have that one. You know, like, you know, the typical, you know, the sun, like the Ibiza sun that everybody had. Well, I've got that on my, well, you know, you see it's got it on my back. And I'm like, I don't see it, so it's fine.
I mean, I had that enormous cover up to cover up two very small, similar, terrible 90s tattoos. And it makes me so mad now, because I was an adult when I got that cover up, and I was like, right, I'm going to do this. And I just so wish that I had not done that until now, because she could have done something amazing with that. And instead I got this monstrous. It's huge. It's not even a good tattoo. It's just like awful. And there would be no point in trying to remove it, because it's so scarred.
Oh, that would take a lot of
Well,
time.
I would just be left with like a scar everywhere. So I may as well just leave it as it is. And like you say, I never see it, in spite of the fact that it is enormous. You just make your peace with these things. I gave that as an example when me and Kaz were originally going to go to a different tattoo artist, and we weren't sure what we wanted, and she was like, well, make sure that this is this. And Kaz is a lot more worried about these things than I am. I'm kind of just like, it's permanent, it's fine. And Kaz was like, oh, I'm not sure. And I showed the woman my cover up, and I was like, this is what I'm living with. Like,
this is my regret.
Like, I'm prepared. Look at my many terrible tattoos, and I'm still doing it. This is ridiculous. Like, why am I even? I'm glad we never went there either now, because the person we ended up going to is this woman, and she's fantastic. It's magical. It's magical. But yeah, that's my tattoo. And obviously it is the Casey Musgraves arrow, which is just kind of happenstance, because I had a few different ones that I wanted, and then the appointment moved to Saturday when we were going to see Casey Musgraves, and I was like, right,
it's meant to be, isn't it?
So
that one, so you want to get that one removed, the other one?
This one says and beyond, and Lee's got to infinity, so I want it removing and redoing by this woman.
Right, okay.
Then I've got these ones. I'd like to have that one just removed full stop, but I don't know how realistic that is. And then this one is the one I'm going to start with. So this one I only had, I mean, this is like, I don't know, 15 years old. That is 2 years old. They look the same. Like she said, this one is particularly terrible because he's gone so deep that it's got like a cloud of ink around it.
Oh, wow. That would look nice fine, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? So I'm thinking, because it's so small, I'd like to have that one done as like a little tester. I'd have it removed and then redone. I mean, I can feel it. You can, it's like a braille
do you know what you
tattoo.
should do? You should get that removed and then not have anything done there, but then just have that on your ring finger, but fine. So it's
Well, what
underneath
I
your.
liked about this one, because Lee's got it on his wrist in the same place, was I'd seen pictures. This is so tacky, but I love it. Seen pictures of
Oh,
people
holding
like holding
hands.
hands or doing something, and then you could see them both together. I thought it was super cute. We've got 2 matching tattoos, and I don't think we've ever taken pictures together of them. Like, you do it thinking that you will, and then you never do. But yeah, I would like to have that removed as a tester and just see how my body reacts to it, because I scar so badly. What if I
What
scar
about?
really badly from the removal?
Yeah.
You don't know. I did also notice, but speaking of my weird scars, I've got like this is so scar tissuey. When I'm with you next, I'm going to get you to feel it, because when I do this, I can feel a huge, the lump starts around here and it ends there.
What is that?
That's from
Bingate?
Bincident.
Oh, Bincident.
Bincident. The scar tissue on my head is like this. I can
Oh.
feel it all underneath my head. So as I age and as I get like my lines in my head and whatever, they're going to be completely uneven. Like you can see even doing that, like I've got a weird dent there, like in there, that I don't have there. It's gonna look weird. I almost can't wait to see what happens.
What can you do about it though?
I mean, I'm sure I could have things done. Even like that, that's like it's weird. I'm sure, I could have like filler and Botox and whatever else. Maybe, again,
we talked about that, didn't we?
like we talked about before, talk to me in 10 years. Right now, I'm just kind of like, I wonder which side will age better.
I tell you what I'm
feel
noticing.
it.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about beauty and all that kind of stuff, but I'm noticing as I'm getting older, because I've got a lot of moles. I've always had them, but I'm noticing like they're getting bigger.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's got bigger. This one's got bigger. So I might go to the doctors and get that
Checked
get that
out.
looked at, checked
Are
out.
they
Yeah, because I
getting
just
bigger, or are they like just more like, is it a darkness? I suppose, is it a mole or is it like a skin growth?
no, it's a mole because I've always had them. So obviously I had this. I
Because my dad's got them, but I don't think that his are moles.
I had that one. Oh, like a skin tag.
But it's not a skin tag, because my grandma had them as well, and he's had them for a long time, but his have gotten bigger as well, and he's got them in similar areas to you, but they're kind of like flesh coloured, and
Oh,
they
okay.
are getting more prominent as he gets older.
Maybe get them checked out. But like the one that I had removed here, that was getting bigger, but that was also like it was getting sore all the time. It was bleeding and like getting crusty, and I was like, oh, so they had to like obviously I had 6 stitches in my face. They had to really go in deep to get it out, and then they sent it away for testing to make sure it wasn't cancerous, and it wasn't, thank goodness. But it kind of makes me a bit sort of worried about the other ones because I'm like, oh, they're growing. Like, is this what happens when you get older?
Yeah, but then at the same time, because obviously you need to keep an eye on it anyway, but from like a cosmetic perspective, then I'd be nervous of, well, if it's okay.
Yeah.
But if it's going to get bigger, then you're like, well, there's the thing of, I could have it removed and that could look better, but then it could look worse. And you don't know how it will age. If you have a scar, you don't know how that scar.
But also, you can't get moles removed on the NHS unless it's for a valid reason because it's classed as cosmetic.
Yeah. Well, my dad's had
I
two.
I can't just rock in and go, I don't like the look of it, take it away.
No.
That's chargeable. But if I'm worried about it, which I genuinely am worried about some of them,
they need to get checked out for sure. I think that's a fair. But my mum got my dad to have 2 moles removed on his back, and that same thing sent away for analysis, and she told him both of them were like precancerous.
Oh, they weren't. Oh, okay. Okay.
I think she told him that, like, see, I told you she'd have them removed. I told you, Dad. Like, he's never going to watch this. She didn't want him to say the next time, like, I'm not doing that again. Like, there's nothing wrong with them, and be stubborn about it, because it's a scary thing.
It's a scary thing, but also, like, I mean, like I said, I've always had them. To me, it's like the equivalent of a birthmark. They're just there.
Yeah.
You know?
But especially ones elsewhere on your body, though, it must be really hard to keep it. Like your partner is going to be more aware of the changes in ones that you don't see all the time
Mm.
than you are.
Yeah,
Like the
but
ones on
like
your face, you'll be more aware.
I just noticed that, especially there's one there, and I'm getting more predominant, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
and because I see it all the time, I'm like, well, do I get it? Is it more of a vanity thing for me, or do I genuinely need to go and get it checked out?
Yeah. It must be hard to know like where is the line? Where is the line of I'm worried about it for vanity reasons, and where is the line of I'm worried about it because
Mm,
I'm actually worried about it?
mm,
There's got to
yeah.
be a mix of both. But either
Well,
way, I think
especially
it's fair to have them checked out because that's
yeah,
important.
especially if they're growing, then that's a change, isn't it? That's a change.
Yeah. Plus, how do you know if they're going? If someone checks them out now, they'll measure them. They'll be like, yeah, this is what it is. It'll go on your file. You can go again in a couple of years and they'll know if they've grown. Because we're talking millimeters.
I know, but I can feel that they've grown, if that makes
Mm.
sense, because like, they're on me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
they've
But I
grown.
mean, like, then at least you check them now and maybe it's not, they're all fine. But then if you check them again, a doctor will be able to see that they've grown.
Yeah.
Like you
Yes,
can't
it's true.
provide evidence of that because it's such a small difference, but you can feel it.
I feel like this conversation's took a turn, hasn't it? Like,
It's taken a turn to the
as
medical.
always.
So back to the adult colouring books. Generally, the vibe was like, why do we feel guilty about having fun? Why do we feel guilty about doing things like I've spent the afternoon playing video games, and the only way that I can justify that time is that I've got my little gaming channel and I make videos about the games that I play. And that allows me, that's my permission that I've given to myself to make it a productive hobby still. I can still do this fun thing, but I've made it another creative outlet. I've made it another content.
But you, by saying that, it's almost like you've given yourself an excuse for doing it. Why do you even need that?
Well, this is like the whole guilty pleasure thing. Like guilty
Yeah.
pleasure shouldn't really exist because if you really enjoy it, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. Like about anything.
Yeah, but anything, like when people go, I'm just gonna have a cheeky Nando's. What's
Yeah,
cheeky?
I mean,
What's
that's
cheeky
insane.
about chicken and chips? Like cheeky.
That's crazy. Yeah, but it's about literally anything. You could say watching EastEnders is your guilty pleasure. Like that. Why? What's to feel guilty about?
Yeah.
It's a
I
TV
like
show.
watching EastEnders. I like watching Emmerdale.
Yeah. Each to their own, man.
Your guilty pleasure is watching American TV shows and Grey's Anatomy and Vampire Diaries. That's your, but like you say, why should you have to justify something that you are doing or enjoying, watching?
Yeah, anything that you enjoy. And it does go for things that you listen to as well. Like you said, am I too old to listen to Taylor Swift? No. Am I too old to do anything? Should I be? If the answer to that is like, I'm enjoying it, then no. If you're enjoying doing something, then why shouldn't you? Why don't we give ourselves the grace that we give to children? I see all the time on Instagram in the comments, people saying, you're too old to be doing this, or this person shouldn't be doing this anymore. Could be anything, literally anything. It could be just someone doing, I mean, God, it could even be like someone surfing or someone enjoying something that somebody else deems a frivolous activity. Like that's not for grown-ups. Why can't grown-ups do fun things? When did we decide that grown-ups can't have like frivolous activities that they
Because
do?
grown-ups are supposed to be sensible, aren't they?
And I think this also falls in line with the thing that, again, going off topic, but kind of back to topics we've talked about in previous episodes. People don't want to hear that adults have decided not to have children, because I think this falls into the same category of they can't accept that adults can decide to just do fun things. The adults can be like, I opt out of that part of being an adult. I don't want to do that part. I'm just going to do these parts. And someone who's doing that part and has felt I have to do that is now like, well, no.
The thing is, though, people try to justify doing certain things because they don't want to be judged. That's
Mm-hmm.
the crux of it, isn't it? You don't want to be judged for something, so you try and justify it in a different way. Like, well, I'm doing that because of this. Like,
Yeah.
why? The fact that people are just judging people in the first place. I mean, you're never going to get away from it, are you? You're never going to get
Mm-mm.
away from it unless you just. Why can't you just do all the things and just don't post it online if you're worried about being judged?
Oh yeah, for sure. Everybody can, but I think the thing is, the less people talk about the things that they're doing that are just fun, frivolous things, the more other people think they are not for you.
Okay.
Like, it's the same as like in the beginning of blogging. I saw a comment on an Instagram earlier. A guy was like posing in this outfit.
Mhm.
Just it was just kind of like, this is the outfit that I'm wearing. And all the comments were like, oh God, this is so cringe. It didn't feel super cringe. It was just like a guy showing off his outfit. And I thought, God, people just don't want people to be happy. Like, it's just
When I see
sad.
things like this, I just think, oh look, they're having a lot of fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people leaving the comments, like someone said, real men don't post whatever it was on the internet. And I said something along the lines of, real men tell other men on the internet how to be real men. I'm like, why? Why are you, how can you think that telling someone else
It's a pin. It's a
this is not a grown-up man behavior is grown-up man behavior?
no, but in their opinion, in
Yeah, but
their opinion,
how can grown-up behavior be criticizing other grown-ups for having fun? It's baffling to me. And this is not, that's just kind of
mm,
like on a bit of a wild tangent, because nobody said anything negative at all. It just kind of came to me because I was doing that this afternoon and I just thought, yeah, do you know what? All you see is people saying, God, aren't you a bit old for that? Aren't you a
mm,
bit old to do X, Y, Z? Aren't you a bit old to
mm,
go to Taylor Swift? Aren't you a bit old
mm.
to go to a concert with your daughter? Oh yeah, there's always that little voice in your head, and it's the voice of like society, if you will, of
Yeah.
like the way we've been socialized to feel about
Mhm.
fun, and the fact that when
Things.
you're grown up and you've got actual responsibilities, you're not supposed to have fun anymore.
You were supposed to have more fun, I think, as a grown up because of life and the stresses and strains of life. You need the joy and you need the fun to, you know, give you that will to carry on, if you like. That sounds really, but you know what I mean.
It's
Like,
true though.
it's you need to have
Yeah.
those elements of joy, and you need to laugh, and you know what? Me and Chris laugh every single day, and I think that sustains our relationship really well as well, because you
Mm,
have to be able to have a giggle and have a laugh and have fun, even as
yeah.
an adult, even through dark times.
Yeah, and
You
imagine
know?
if the person that you were with was one of those people that was like, "Aren't you a bit old for that?"
Yeah.
That
It's a
must be awful. People must like be in
they like
relationships with people for
they
10
like
years.
suck the joy
Yeah.
out of everything.
What if you were with someone when you were 20 and then like 10 years later you're only 30 and they grow in to that person that's like, "Ugh, aren't you a bit old to want to do that? You're 30 now."
Mm,
How sad. And that must be
yeah.
so hard. I think that this is the thing of like where people grow apart and friendships and, whatever relationships.
Mm.
Um, you need to kind of surround yourself with people who are, they don't even have to be like-minded. They just need to be like open and,
Have good sense of humours.
well, yeah, absolutely. But open to whatever. Like whatever
Mm.
it is that you're into. I might not be into it, but I'm glad you're having fun.
Mhm.
Like, why would you wanna take somebody else's
Because
joy
people are
away?
like that. People like to suck the joy out of other people's lives because they do. Because they
Mm.
do, which
I
is
I
sad.
think
But you know what? Do you know, sometimes though, the people that are like that, if you give them a bouncy castle, like, let them bounce on a bouncy castle for 5 minutes and then tell me if they're not laughing.
yeah.
Because you need that
Maybe.
element of, well, yeah, they're just gonna be on the bouncy castle. This is horrible.
"Ah,
But like, just
I hate this."
enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy, because you only get one life, don't you? And I just
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think we
know.
need less of those people. And I think that if you have those people in your life, you don't have to spend a lot of time with them.
No,
You don't have to cut
no,
people out.
just
You don't have to, like, not see
you
people
just know
anymore.
that they're
But
those kind of
yeah,
people. Yeah,
you know who you spend time with that makes you feel like
good.
the energy has been drained out of your body, and you know the people that you spent time with that have filled you back up again. And
Hmm.
introverts and extroverts alike, I know that feeling, and it comes for me from that, like, you wanting good things for the other person
Yeah.
rather than wanting them to live the way you want them to live. I mean, I
Hmm.
feel like we've come full circle from a previous episode, but that
Yeah.
wasn't the intention. It was more,
No.
let's all have fun. I want to
Yeah.
know, what do you guys do that you would consider to be your guilty pleasure? What is it that you do as an adult? Like, I don't think, I'm like 38. I don't think there's ever going to be a time that I don't want to play The Sims. Once upon a time, maybe I thought I was going to grow out of it, but when does that happen? When
I
when
don't
do
know.
you
You're asking
grow
the wrong
out?
person because I've never been a gamer. I think the
But what
last time I
would be
played,
your equivalent?
what my guilty pleasure?
Not the,
Nothing
like,
should be guilty, but like,
your like activity that you did as a kid that maybe you thought, oh, I probably won't be interested in this when I'm an adult, but you still are.
don't know.
I feel
I don't know.
like even like drawing and like the thing of coloring books and stuff, I would be really, really surprised if people weren't given, because you were never into that kind of thing, but there must have been things you were into as a kid that if someone, I mean, we made that clay jewelry the other day.
Yeah,
That
yeah, it's true.
absolutely someone could have come in and been like, what are you doing? You're playing with foam
We're playing
clay.
with foam clay.
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Um,
Something that you would have done as a child that if someone gave you now, you'd be like, oh my God, I love this. But I wouldn't necessarily
mm,
have thought to do it because I'm in my 40s.
yeah. Things like that. Doing the clay stuff, jewelry making I did. What else did I do? I used to really like cross stitch when I was younger
Yes.
and knitting, but I've forgotten how to knit. I've really, like, I've tried
I
again.
was the same. I think it'll come back to you.
Yeah, I've tried, but again, I don't know whether my attention span is just a bit shot away. But yeah, I used to really enjoy that. I used to really enjoy drawing as
Yeah.
well. And I found loads of things in the garage of like all my drawings. I think I told you this before. I found all my drawings and stuff. So I used to really like art.
I think the
Um,
drawing thing is definitely along the lines of video games because it's so pointless. Like drawing
mm,
to drawing without thinking you're an artist or there's no end to this. You're just drawing
no,
for fun.
you're just drawing. Yeah.
I never ever, I used to do that. That was, I mean, we didn't have like the internet like we do now. But I used to just draw and draw and draw. I used to read books, actual physical books, not audio books. So many
Hmm.
things I used to do as a kid that I kind of like just I left them behind when I was in my 20s. And
Mm,
that enjoyment of those things is still locked in there somewhere.
mm,
So maybe we should find something in the next few weeks that's like, try and remember something that you used to do all the time.
yeah. I'm trying to think now. What I used to do all the time when I was a kid. I used to game a bit when I was a kid, but I was like Sonic, you know. I had my Master
Mm,
System and my Mega Drive, and I had my original Nintendo. Um, and I did used to spend a lot of time on there. But reading, I was always in the library, getting books
mm.
all the time, and drawing. Yeah, that was what I did mainly as a kid.
Maybe at Christmas we should go to an art class.
That would be cool. Do you know what I really
Mm.
want to do? I want to do those things where you get not an easel. What's the thing? I'm like a canvas, and you
Mhm.
draw your other half, and then you turn it
Yes.
around. Have you seen those online? Have you seen them
I
on
know
reels and
exactly what you
things?
mean. And we could do that, when
Yeah,
we're all together. You do Chris and I'll do Lee and vice versa. They would be hilarious.
yeah. I'd really like to do one of those.
I've seen
Yeah, that
that
would be
people do
cool.
that like as like cute date nights.
Yeah, they follow a tutorial and then they do it.
Yeah.
Yes, I
There's
really want to
someone
do
that
that.
I follow and she and her partner have been making like random clay things. So like they'll buy this clay, like an air dry clay kit, and they'll make something each, and then over the course of however many days, they've got to wait for it to completely dry, and then they paint it, and then they like put a glaze. I just think that's so cute. Lee's not like massively into like creative-y stuff like that, and it's messy. He would hate that. He doesn't like things on his hands. He's got a real like sensory thing.
He'd be fine with the foam clay that we had then, because that was not messy at all.
Even then, though, I think he would have a hard time with like there'd be residue that we can't feel, but he can feel it.
Oh, okay.
There'd be like if I got him to like massage my shoulders or something, he has to wash his hands straight away. He couldn't put hand cream on, never in a million years. Oh no, absolutely not. Hand sanitizer in COVID, he had a really hard time with.
Oh no.
Like, he was just constantly washing his hands. But yeah, I think that would be fun. And do you know what? Now I've said that, Lee, he's on all these different forums for like cars, you know, like I want to say sports cars, but it's not really sports cars, like supercars. And he used to go to car shows when he was a young man. When he was a teenager, he had like show cars. Like with like flip paint cars and fun things. Sometimes he finds cars that he used to own, like that are up for sale on these forums. And he still follows along with stuff like that. He's not got a car like that anymore. He's not planning on getting a car like that. But on an evening, he's on his iPad and he's looking through forums and people are talking about these different cars and he's looking at pictures. And that's like the equivalent, isn't it? That's keeping a hand in with something that is a childhood fun thing.
Memory. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
he really enjoys that. And that to me is absolute nonsense. But I'm not like, what are you doing?
No, you're happy that he's happy doing what he's enjoying.
Yeah, loads of people do fantasy football. That's the same kind of thing, like football manager competitions, that kind of thing.
Loads of things people do. I don't understand.
Yeah,
it's like like my brother-in-law is really into Warhammer, and he tried to describe all the rules to me and everything, and I was just not getting it, and I feel like he was getting really frustrated with me, bless him. And I was just like, so then you do this and then you do it, and he's like, no, you do. And I'm like, God bless it. He was getting because he's so passionate about it. But that's what it was great, because he was getting really into what he loves and enjoys. It's not my cup of tea, but it never left him.
It was just in him. And so many people, I think, feel that they have to leave those things behind. I tried to learn Dungeons and Dragons in 2020. I need someone professional to teach me, because you need like a big table full of people playing that game. That really appeals to me. I would probably be all about Warhammer.
You would have probably understood all of this stuff, but I was just like,
lore.
Right, so you've got this and this, and then you put them into this camp, and I kind of remember it was some kind of, it's a war, isn't it? And then you've got some that are over the hill thing, and like the station there, and some mean more, and I'm just like,
but I play video games that are very like that as well. I used to play one called Age of Empires, and it like started out and you were a small little empire. Well, you weren't an empire yet, but you were like a little group of people, and then you try to like get more land and you become an empire. That's really, really appealing. But if you explain that to someone as a 38-year-old woman, that I want to play this game where you start off with settlers and then you like get more land and then you try and have more land than the other people in the pretend game, it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
You enjoy it. Enjoy it.
And why does that sound more crazy than wanting to watch the fictional people on Albert Square and getting so engrossed in their lives like I do with Grey's Anatomy? I don't know, but I would like to give you all formal permission to rediscover something that you enjoyed as a child.
Yeah, or just in the comments, what did you enjoy? Because then it might jog our memories and go, yes, I did that as well.
Yeah, like making pretend magazines. I think that's what blogging was. I think when we started doing blogs, it's like, oh, this is the pretend magazine come to life.
I love the collage.
I honestly think that we've like accidentally found a lot of things that we enjoyed and made them grown up hobbies. Like this, we're making videos. I mean, this is just a chat, but like with other kind of videos that we make, it's like a fun little video, and you edit the video and you put music on it and whatever. And if you explained that to your teenage self, that this is something that you do in the future, they'd be like, that sounds great. But
Yeah.
but we've evolved it into something that we feel good about as our age.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh.
But yeah,
Now I need to think about all the things that I used to do. I think, do you know what we're sorting the garage out of the week. I feel like we're all constantly sorting out the bloody garage. But I feel like I'm gonna have to try and dig out these drawings again now. And
yes.
I'll post them and I'll be like, this is what I used to draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Fruit.
got my art book from GCSE, and I'll find it in the garage occasionally and be like, I was really into this. And then I did A level and realized I wasn't that good. I was GCSE good. I wasn't A level good.
Yeah. I used to like a lot of contemporary stuff more, like the Picasso stuff I used to like. But
Mhm.
and like animation, but not um I was never very good at doing portraits and stuff. I tried, but I could never quite get the shading right and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But
I can like draw from a reference, but I can't draw from my mind. You know, like if you said,
mm,
like I used to draw women, I used to do like a kind of the bottom of the head, the shoulders, and the arms to like there, and then draw like outfits on them. But
mm.
now, if I was to do that, I don't have the creativity. I don't have like that inspiration in my mind to just make something up. I
You
would
just
have to copy it from something
you just
else.
unlocked a memory. I used to draw outfits. I used to
Mhm.
create outfits.
Yeah.
Bit like a fashion designer, but like when
Like
you were
fashion wheel,
like
but
fashion.
freehand.
Yeah, I used
Yeah.
to create outfits.
I did
Draw.
what I used to start off, I used to have like 40 sheets, and I would just do the base of like the bottom of the face, the
Yeah.
neck, the arms, and then I'd do kind of like a little bit of a silhouette of a person to show I
hmm
knew like the body shape underneath. I'd do that on like 40 sheets, and then I would draw over the top of it all the different
Well,
like
mine always used to be like I remember
a
it now.
bust.
It used to be like two triangles, one like that and one like
Mm,
that. So if I was doing a dress or a skirt and a top, so it used to be
yeah.
like that. And then I used to create what I wanted to create. So I'm going to make it like this with frills or what color I was going to do. Oh my God, yeah. This is like
So
a
when
trip
I
down
was
memory lane.
first on YouTube, I can't remember where I got the dress form from, but I had a dress form. I also got, I think Lee bought me a sewing machine because I was like, I'm gonna learn to sew. It was one of my many things that I tried to do. I can't sew. My grandma taught me years and years ago, and I don't have the patience. Threading the needle of a sewing machine. If someone was there
Oh,
always to do it for me, I think I could get really
yes.
into it. But that
Yeah.
is my nemesis. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't want it that bad. But I remember getting some material, and I like made a basque. I bought boning. I had like
Wow.
fabric, and I like kind of, but I was just making it up. There was no pattern. I was literally just
Mm.
like pinning it onto this thing and then sewing it together. And there was a point where I could kind of put it on. And I just wish I had like the follow through for literally anything. Because I love the idea of that, but I don't
Yeah.
have.
I do. I love the idea of sewing as well, and we've got an old Singer sewing machine downstairs that I've tried to use, but I did again. It's the threading and the bobbin and I'm just like,
Nah.
no, no.
I think
Um,
I did everything by hand in the end. Everything that I did do, I did by hand.
have you seen that kid on Instagram, TikTok, whatever? He's like a 7-year-old and he designs
Yes.
dresses and stuff. He's so cool. Like
He's
it's all like from his
amazing.
mind, isn't it? I'm going to do it like this and do it. He's gonna be a big deal. I feel.
Yeah. But I can
Mm.
see that like on a dress form, I can see like, draping things, and
Yeah.
but it's the actual then it's the follow through of it. But there must be the elements of the things that you enjoy. There must be ways of being like, okay, I like this part of this. So where can I do something that's like this?
Mm.
Like, where's that? Where can I like use this part of the creativity for this? And maybe
Mm.
part of it is the fact that we're so focused on what is the final result of this because it needs to feel like a productive thing. Whereas if you just enjoyed draping fabric on a dress form and making it look like a dress, and it was never actually sewn into anything, and it was just a fun thing to do, and then you unpinned it all and it all was just bits of fabric, maybe that's fine. Maybe the fun of it was just the draping and the like, oh, I'm just
messing
gonna
about.
have, in the same way that you would draw.
Yeah. Just for fun rather than the actual has to be a polished thing at the end. Yeah.
Interesting. But I'm
I think
really interested to see what people say in the comments were things that they enjoyed as teenagers, because like you say, it might unlock some things.
Unlock the fun.
Yeah.
Don't be
unlock what was it that you did as a child that you're like, oh, I can do that now, and I've got more money to buy the things. Like if you had like the disposable income, small as it may be, it's huge compared to your 10-year-old self.
Oh yeah.
Even if you can put 30 quid into something creative, that 10-year-old didn't have 30 quid, or my 10-year-old self didn't have 30 quid to buy clay, to make clay earrings, and just be like, I want to make clay earrings, I'm going to buy a kit on Amazon. Your 10-year-old self would have gone bananas.
Yeah. I feel like I want to do some drawing now, or some fashion drawing.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to have my own clothing range at this point.
No, I truly thought that is. Did I ever tell you about when I started year 7? It can't have been year 7. It must have been year 9 when we went up to the next school, and they said, "What does everybody want to do?" And everyone put their hands up, and every single girl in that class said fashion designer. And my dreams died that day. I was like,
what did you say you wanted to be?
I didn't say anything. I didn't put my hand up. I was like, okay. Like in that moment, I was like, this is what everybody wants to do. And I think I just looked around the room and was like, I am not up for that competition. Like I did not appreciate it was the equivalent of like everybody wanted to be a journalist, everybody wanted to be a fashion designer, everybody wanted to be an architect, some ridiculous TV movie career. And I thought, no.
I'm gonna change my tack here. I'm gonna choose something different.
I'm gonna plan trains. Yeah, no. I wasn't the sheep thing so much as like, yeah, no. Everybody wants to do that. Or maybe in hindsight, once everybody wanted to do it, I didn't want to do it that much.
Like Taylor Swift, you don't want to listen to her album? Yes.
Maybe that's what it was. I've always thought of it as like, I thought, this is going to be too hard. Everybody wants to do it. But maybe that was just another version of once everybody's interested, I'm not interested anymore. And I stopped drawing dresses that day.
Anyway, I think it's time to wrap it up.
I know. I don't know how long we've been talking, but it's been so long about all kinds of nonsense.
Well, that's the beauty of this, isn't it? The randomness. You get a bit of a subject, and then a whole spiel about everything else.
You get a bit of a topic, and then we ignore that and go and talk about something else. Also, it's so flipping warm. I can't believe we've not even covered that. I'm wearing jeans.
Warm? It's been raining here today.
It's humid. I think it's warmer today because of the rain.
I had my cardigan on earlier. I was like, a bit chilly.
I am so warm. I'm ready to get in a cold shower right now. So let's wrap this up. So thank you so much for joining us. Let us know, what is your thing? Your childhood.
What's your childhood thing? What is your guilty pleasure?
What would you consider your guilty pleasure to be if you had to explain that to someone? That's the thing. So let us know. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.